What's up, everyone out there? My name's Terry. This is When Tyranny Becomes Law. I'm out here trying to turn sheeple into lions so they know what's going on in their country. I'm going to read to you something from my father-in-law that he wrote back in 1993. This thing is so old it was written on a typewriter. So basically, what this is it's how to turn a free country into a police state in 9 easy lessons. There's a bunch of sub-points under some of these, so just kind of hang with me. And keep in mind, this was written 30 years ago, and he must be a prophet because this is spot on. So, number one, increase the size and scope of the federal government. Bullet point A, establish precedents that seem expeditious and beneficial, but which place more control into the hands of the central government. As you can see, that's going on everywhere. Tax to the max in every conceivable way, just short of the point where people start to march on the Capitol. I don't know about you guys, but with inflation and the tax rates currently, I'm about there. I can't take the taxes anymore. I live in Missouri. We have a personal property tax. I pay taxes on my car that I've already paid taxes on every year. It's ridiculous. Use federal grants from tax dollars to increase control and dependency of state and local governments. Create a socialistic environment. Point D, federalize education. Use this medium as a first mode of indoctrination. Introduce progressive abstract teaching styles and grading procedures which enable students to move through the system without ever having to prove they know anything about the 3 R's. Use classroom for social engineering. Never hint that there might be a supreme creator or absolute values. In fact, ban the idea. Encourage them to explore the realm of alternative lifestyles, secular humanism, and various other avenues of expression. I don't need to tell every parent that's been to a parent-teacher meeting out there that this is happening each and every day in America. Our schools are indoctrinating our children to become socialist radicals. I myself pulled my kids out of school after kindergarten. We homeschool our children because we do not trust the government or any other school for that matter to teach our children. E, increase the power and scope of federal bureaus such as the FBI, CIA, IRS, ATF, and create a federal police force. Get tough with anyone who dares to stand up for his or her personal freedoms or rights. Ignore due process of law, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution. As history has shown, most folks won't object to too strenuously as long as it's someone else's rights being abridged. I don't know about you guys, but it's clear and apparent that the FBI and CIA are in cahoots with the Democrats. The IRS targets any Republican out there, period. And the ATF, I mean, just ask the guys at Waco or Ruby Ridge how that went for them. I mean, these bureaucracies are all corrupt to the core. We cannot trust them anymore. Point F, involve the country in all kinds of global skirmishes, wars, humanitarian endeavors. Keep the country focused on the left hand while the right hand picks their pockets. Send their money all around the world, take away their freedom, confiscate their guns and confiscate their guns and dispose of their tax money. And if the people get angry and at the ineptitude of government, they still won't know for sure who exactly is responsible. So they will end up taking out their anger on each other. Point in case, Ukraine. And every day there's another Democrat coming out saying we need to ban AR-15s. We need to ban semi-automatics. I don't know if you know this, but semi-automatics are like 95% of the guns in this country. If they take those away, they have free reign to do whatever the hell they want. G, wipe out middle class by allowing their jobs to go out of the country, which will enable the major bankers and industrialists to reap a rich harvest from cheap labor and the folks back home to be reduced to the same status as other third world countries. China. That's all I gotta say. Everything that was made in America has been shipped to China, period. There's very few things besides a My Pillow out there that's made in America. You're hard pressed to find a flag, an American flag made in America. It's not easy, trust me, I've looked. Stand firm against any attempts to induce term limits. Line item vetoes or any other type of accountability on the part of the government. Allow any scandals to burn themselves out with the passage of time. The public's memory is short, especially if the media doesn't pursue it. Case in point, Joe Biden. I mean, the guy's corrupt as could be. The media won't, you can't find it on any stations except Republican stations. Newsmax, Fox News, and if you talk about it on Fox News too much, you get fired, right, Tucker? Create a cashless monetary system whereby wealth is simply a matter of credits and debits on a computer that the government controls. And even taxation can be handled automatically. The great appeal of this system is confidence, and it will greatly control any underground economy. The use of the new high-tech computer chip implants under the skin, already under development, can be used for quick identification, and its signal will assist the government to locate any individual who may have strayed by use of the global satellite network. Basically, this is CBDCs. He might be a little off on the implants, but we'll see. Who knows what they have planned, you know? All right. Step 2. Stimulate controversy while encouraging liberalized morals and attitudes. Liberalize pornography laws involving adults, children, and anything else possible. Remove restrictions upon public airwaves. Let it all hang out. All right, let's have trans shows at our schools for the kids to watch. That's basically what this is talking about. Legalize gambling. That's happening everywhere. I mean, you can't go anywhere anymore where you're not allowed to gamble. When I was a kid, you couldn't gamble in Missouri. Now you can basically find a casino on every river there is. Pander to any and all fringe groups who demand rights, regardless of their negative impacts upon society. Encourage bizarre behavior and lifestyles. After all, it is a free country. Take advantage of it. So, LGBTQ. I mean, if you come out against LGBTQ plus YZ, then, I mean, you're the Antichrist. But we don't believe in Christ. Let's see. Legalize abortion. Make it a rights issue. They did do that for a while. Luckily, the Supreme Court gave it back to the states, and some of the states have banned it pretty much altogether, which is awesome. Encourage use of condoms for all ages. Ignore personal responsibility of morality. Make sex a rights issue. I mean, they're basically trying to teach kids about sex in kindergarten nowadays. Ridicule and discredit religion. In many cases, their own clergy will do an excellent job of discrediting themselves. And that was true for the Catholic Church. But now it's every day religion is under attack. Each and every day in this country. And if we don't stand up and say, hey, this isn't right, we're not doing this anymore, it's going to keep happening. Let's see. Conceal the true facts about contentious and threats of HIV and AIDS, protect homosexual rights, hinder hospitals and physicians from testing patients to find out the extent of the problems. Again, make it a civil rights issue. And all the while, allow disease to spread unabated. Well, maybe not HIV and AIDS. They've gotten that kind of under control now with drugs and whatnot. But they have, I mean, COVID. And I'm not going to say any more on that. Legalize drugs. Some European countries have tried it and found it to be a real mess. Well, marijuana is pretty much legal in half the nation now. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. If that's your thing, whatever. I don't think it's much worse than alcohol, but it's not something that I think needs to go further than that. And that's what's going to happen. You take one baby step at a time, and you legalize the next drug, then you legalize the next drug, and legalize the next drug. Maintain an immigration policy that allows thousands of illiterate, infected, hapless individuals to flood into the country, taking jobs, spreading disease, becoming dependent on the healthcare and welfare system, further draining the economy. Of course, they will blame the people, not the government. That's basically what's going on right now. With Title 42 going out of existence tonight at midnight, you got hundreds of thousands of people ready to come across the border. I've heard reports up to 800,000 people in a month. That's ridiculous. Our borders should be locked down. If you don't want another 9/11, no one should be coming to this country that we don't know about. Let's see. Pay lip service publicly that the government is fed up as everyone else with the violence and perversion. Ask the TV and film studios to take care of it, but when they continue to do everything that flies in the face of it. I mean, the film and TV basically is just another wing of the socialist Democrats, aka communists. Step 3. Play up the concept of a democracy instead of a democratically elected constitutional republic. Remember, we're a republic, not a democracy. Democracy stands good, but in a constitutional republic, the law must recognize the rights of the individuals and that there must be limitations placed upon the government. This is essential of freedom. In a democracy, the attitude towards the law is that the majority shall regulate themselves, whether it be based upon careful deliberation or governed by the passion of the moment, without restraint or due regard to consequences. Loss of freedom is the inevitable result. The people will become greedy and are easy prey to the politicians who promote the most. Let them eat cake. Step 4. Move towards socialism. The government, which is positive and does things for someone, must first take from others. If it can take some of what they have, it can take all of what they have. Again, communism. Discredit and persecute any individuals or organizations that are not cooperative. Put them in a bad light and do whatever possible to make them look foolish. Intimidate whistleblowers and make examples of them. Once dissenters are held in contempt by the majority, they can be led away and dealt with. ESG. That's what got Budweiser. Bud Light decided to do social whatever, promote transgenderism, and it really bit them in the rear end. So it's not all it's cracked up to be. The people are coming around and speaking out against things they hate. So just keep that in mind. We got to keep fighting for what's right. Step 6, release from prison the most vicious, dangerous, and manicule types in order to literally wreak havoc on an already traumatized society. Use early outs, suspended sentences, paroles, pardons, whatever. Monsters have rights too. That's going on all over the country in every Democratic-run city where the prosecutors won't prosecute crimes. I'm in Missouri. St. Louis is like #1 and the worst prosecutor in the nation. Maybe followed by New York with Bragg, who's going to prosecute, political figures to get his side out. Number 7, allow things to get out of hand. Let the people get so frustrated and fed up they will demand something be done. Then begin gun control legislation. Simple, ineffective laws to start, but as they are shown to be of little effect, restrictions can be increased until confiscation can be accomplished. Gradualism is the key. This will leave a once powerful constituency toothless and helpless against the continued onslaught of criminal element who have nothing to fear, having kept their unregistered firearms. So, this is happening right now. They banned gun stocks, And now they want to ban pistol grips on short barrel rifles. The ATF's out of control. This is what they are doing. They're trying to take away things one at a time. Soon it'll be AK-47s and AR-15s. Then next it'll be long rifles, and then it'll be handguns, and then it'll be revolvers, and then it'll be air pistols. I mean, they're not going to allow guns in this nation. If they do, they understand that they will be overthrown. Use the Federal Reserve Board, which is controlled by international bankers and their interests, to whipsaw the economy, and use the IRS to fleece the public into virtual poverty and despair. As the economy begins to fail, as the people are unable to find work in the new global economy and foreclosures are the order of the day, the government will devalue the monetary system, creating hyperinflation, currently in process. At this point, there may be actual rioting in the streets, causing a national emergency requiring the declaration of martial law, the framework for which should already be in place. I mean, that's exactly where we're going. I think we'll be there this summer. We're going to start seeing banks collapse all over the place. This is not sustainable. The Fed should be abolished. It's an abomination. There should be no central bank in the United States. The United States should not have a fiat currency. It should be backed by gold. Number 9, in order to subdue the insurrection in the streets, specifically trained and hardened troops and police can be used to put down the resistance. Criminals and self-proclaimed patriots fighting with sticks and stones can easily be taken care of using tanks and heavy armament, like the Tiananmen Square or the old Soviet Union, or like Waco, Texas. The remaining people will be glad that the government finally did something to restore order, and after the rebels have been purged out, it will be very quiet and orderly country indeed. So I think he hit on basically everything that's going on in the nation currently. Like I said, he wrote this 30 years ago. He's got a moral down here, and I'll read that real quick. The best way for a free and great nation to prevent all this from happening is to stay informed. Stay on top of the issues. Insist on government always doing what is right, not what seems expedient. Look past political facades, hidden agendas. Elect common people who really listen to the people and are themselves decent and moral. Watch what they do, not what they say. Treat politicians as you would diapers. Change them frequently and for the same reason. So I think he got his point across pretty well here, and I think he was spot on writing this 30 years ago. My takeaway is we're coming to a point where if we keep standing by and doing nothing, the big government apparatus and bureaucracy is going to take control, and we won't have a country left soon. So I need everybody out there to stand up, fight for the country, fight for what you believe in. This is the United States of America, not the communist states of Illinois or California or New York. Red America needs to stand up and fight for what is right. Have a good night, everyone.